This is Ask Brock. It's the end of the year. Of course, I get this question every year. Brock, can you ask Santa for a new drill rig for me? Sure, I can, little Dave, little Mike, little Brian. I can be a helper of Santa. Let's face it, Dave's never been little. Mike, you've never been little. Not quite sure about you, Brian. So, if we're going to ask Santa for a drill rig, what does that rig look like for 2024? First, it has to be automated. If that is a manipulation system for rod handling, or that is rod handling system, or a bigger carousel, it's got to be to your specifications. Bit breaking. You want to be on my naughty list for 2024? Continue to break bits with pipe wrenches. We need to consider what it's going to take to break these bits with a bit breaking basket or some other better technology if that's a triple clamping system. Next, I want a control panel that is ergonomically smart, that's going to allow for my next generation of drillers to be able to utilize the controls in an easy way while keeping their eyes on the table and the process at hand. With that note, that ergonomics to that control panel does not mean that I'm going to be leaning way out and up and around because it's a poorly designed control panel and platform. We should be able to be unobstructed and be able to make the views that are possible. With that said, we see a lot of new drill rigs coming out with remote controls. I think this is a great concept. However, we need to consider isolation distances as we operate them. I've been on too many projects lately where I see a young individual walk up or walk in front of the table to blow out a rod or do something where you're now in the danger zone where that platform had put us in a dedicated area that isolated us from some of those possibilities. Next, that new drill rig, don't be the R&D department for that manufacturer. Just because suddenly they see the opportunity to continue to improve the piece of equipment at your expense, there has to be a mutual partnership there, and it has to be understood. With that, you want to be ensuring that your warranties make sense and are something that, regardless of where you are, you're able to get the service that is necessary. We're seeing lots of situations where we need to be nimble and smart, especially if we're going to be on production geothermal, or we're going to be investing this new piece of equipment after we sell off that tried and true rig that was starting to age out. Santa can only do so much, and that means we need to be talking smart business. So if I'm going to look at a 2024 drill rig investment, what does my business look like? What are my opportunities for the incoming year? What type of work am I going to be doing? Again, we see all too often we need a Swiss Army knife drill rig. You ever try to open a bottle of wine with a Swiss Army knife? Sure, it's great in the campgrounds, but man, do I love it when I can grab my drill and drill right into that cork, remove it right out of there. So we need a piece of equipment that does 90% of your business. And if you need to diversify a little bit, you're going to do that by tooling. You're going to do that by the pumps, the compressors. So again, if I'm going to make my big consideration here and I'm asking Santa, this is the new drill rig I want for Christmas, I want to think of my drilling system that's going to incorporate our subsurface geology, our rotation, our pull down, our pumping system, if that's mud, if that's air, if that's sonic, and then obviously the risk mitigation of hands-free technology, and then the usability of my driller and how that is going to work and how they can develop beyond that. Those are all the pieces that it's going to take. So if I'm asking Santa for a drill rig, I might as well be asking for new tooling, the right pumps, the right bits, and a tablet on site so I can look at every log possible so we set our people up to be successful. Great question. Happy holidays, everybody. I got my trusty plastic reindeer here, and obviously we don't want to be like the Grinch, and that's throw out science and physics and just think you can just throw anything into a drilling system and it's going to work. We need the science, we need the physics, and We need to understand sometimes more horsepower or more pressure isn't the solution. It's looking at our entire system and maximizing it. Thanks, everybody.